brethren, my heart's desire and prayer to God for Israel is that they might be saved. For there is no difference between the Jew and the Greek, for the same Lord over all is rich unto all that call upon him. Zola Levitt presents
Hello friends, welcome to Zola Levitt Presents. I'm David Hart.
And I'm Kirsten Hart. We are in our series, Esther for Such a Time as This. And today, finally, we see that the Jewish people have justice at last.
Dr. Jeffrey Seif will be teaching on location. We love his teaching. Our guest analyst in the studio is Ted Pierce. We also love his music.
And we also love cookies, especially these right here. I'm already looking at the plate, trying to decide which one I need to sample. You'll learn what these are and how they relate to the Feast of Purim coming up on the program.
But first, let's go to our dramatic reenactment.
ומאי מלכתי היקרה היא עתירתך, דברי ואעניק לך עד חצי המלכות.
מלכי, אם מצאתי חן בעיניך, אנא הענק לי את חיי ואת חיי אנשיי, שכן מכרו אותנו, אפילו לא על מנת להיות עבדים, שכן זה היה נסבל, אלא שיש אחד שמחפש להרוג אותנו.
And the cat had the mouse cornered, hemmed in. Haman was minded to destroy the Jews, but little did he know is that it was about to turn on his own head there in the palace. I'm coming to you from a palace right now, a palace atop Masada. Masada is a word meaning fortress. When Herod built it years ago, he knew that he was in a precarious place, as are Jews generally. And so we built this fantastic palace. Well, I got news for you that Esther was in another palace, another place, another day, but there was danger. Here you can see the remains, in fact, the plaster, the black line here reflects what archaeologists found. Underneath it is the original. Above it is the reconstruction here at the place where planned was a means for survival for the royal house. Esther, our queen, was in the royal house, and there was no such fortress, save the fact that the Lord had fortified her to enact a scheme. We're told here in chapter 7, verse 4, that she has her husband and Haman at a banquet. And she informs that some are trying to destroy her. Listen to it in the Hebrew. I want to try and give you the emotion, and then I want to consider the implications for today. In chapter 7, verse 4, she says, and I quote, Ki nimkarnu, we are sold. Ani, me, I, ve'ami, and my people. Lehashmid, to be destroyed. Laharog, to be slaughtered. Ul abed, and to be annihilated. She told her husband that someone had the noose around her neck, and not just Esther herself, but her people. What's going on, says Xerxes. Who's the man? And she points to Haman. Today, friends, listen to me, evil lurks, as was the case yesterday. In different ways, different days, different people are bent on the destruction of the Jews, the slaughter, the annihilation. Whatever threatens Israel threatens Jewish survival. And I see Jews being harangued in the press. I see Jews being lambasted in the United Nations. I see Jews being assailed by nations round about this modern nation state. And it tells me, among other things, that there is nothing new under the sun. And here's a woman who was there for such a time as this, drawing attention to the fact that we, the people of the Jews, are about to be annihilated. Oh, friends, we need to lift up our prayers Godward to, as we say at the end of every program, Sha'alu Shalom Yerushalayim, to pray for the peace of Jerusalem. And the reason why is, as yesterday, today as well, there are forces bent on the destruction of the Jews.
Are Gentile believers meant to adopt the Mosaic Law? Is there a separate salvation covenant for Israel that removes the necessity of faith in Yeshua? Eitan Shishkov tackles these questions and more in today's resource, What About Us? In this book, Eitan uncovers concrete scriptural evidence of God's original plan for Jews and Gentiles to become one in Messiah and work together for salvation of national Israel. Learn the importance of how the Gentile church should relate to the remarkable messianic movement of Jews accepting Jesus, an important read for believers of all walks of life. Please call us or go online. And as for the resource, What About Us?
We live in a topsy-turvy world where news events are often twisted, leading to untruth. Here at Zola Levitt Presents, we believe it's important to tell the truth of God's Word, the Bible. And we believe it should be proclaimed to Israel and the nations. If you believe the same, please consider us in your monthly giving support.
Zola Levitt Presents is more than just a television program. There are many ways to connect with us on social media. Join Zola Levitt Presents on Facebook/Zola Levitt to watch this week's episode. Or join us on Twitter at Zola Levitt. Or watch videos on our YouTube channel, Zola Levitt Presents. And don't forget to find everything on our website, levitt.com. We invite you to keep in touch and join us on social media.
We are easy to find on social media. Just look up Zola Levitt Presents. We're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, and Twitter. I love going on the Facebook page myself. We have Hebrew lessons, there are interviews, news from Israel. You're missing out if you don't find us on our social media sites.
And now the plot thickens as the king asks Esther who plotted the coming slaughter of the Jewish people.
מי הוא זה? והיכן הוא? זה שרוצה להשמיד את מלכתי ובני עמה.
האויב הוא זה, המן הרשע.
Many have sought to annihilate the Jews, and it's very Jewish to turn things on their heads. And I mention that because here atop Masada, where years ago individuals made the decision to end life, here the celebration of generations to come is enacted through the bar mitzvah behind me, where a Jewish family and friends are celebrating someone coming of age. In the Jewish world, Pekuach HaNefesh, the preservation of life and the soul, is extremely important. Our story of Esther takes place against the backdrop of a time when there was an interest in destroying Jewish people. And as you recall, Esther bids on behalf of the people, informing her husband that they are facing dread end. In Esther chapter 7, verse 4, we read, Vayomer HaMelech Achashverosh, and spoke King Xerxes, Vayomer le'Esther hamalka. And he said unto his queen, Esther, Mi hu zeh? Who is he? That is to say, who's trying to annihilate you? Ve'et zehu. And where is he? Oh, it's a reasonable question. In the drama in Esther, we know who this person is. This wicked Haman who enacted a scheme to destroy the Jewish people. We know who he was yesterday, and today as well, we know in the person of Mahmoud Ahmadinejad, we find someone bent on destroying the Jews. But oh, so subtly, in various ways, from pulpits around the world, ministers give voice to the fact that God is through with the Jewish people, thrown it in the trash bin of biblical history. And of course, thus-minded individuals can more readily give credence to this rejected people vision, and then more easily be bent on doing us harm. There's a mantra in the Jewish world, never again. And here atop Masada, I say never again. And those that were singing behind me in the synagogue, David Melech Yisrael Chai V'Skayon, David, the King of Israel, lives. With bar and bat mitzvahs, we say never again as the people of Israel live. Well, people lived here because a woman stood up. And here atop Masada, this fortress where Jewish people took a stand against all odds, against the Romans, let me encourage you, like people were encouraged here, like we're encouraged in the book of Esther, let me encourage you, please, take a stand. Get behind God's people, the Jewish people. Pray for the peace of Jerusalem. Confront those that are bent on her demise. And I know that God will bless you. And I know that God will work through you as a result of your so doing.
For insightful perspectives on Israel and Bible prophecy, ask for our free monthly newsletter, The Levitt Letter. At levitt.com, you can read the newsletter, watch the TV program, or visit our online store. Stay current with us on social media via Facebook and Twitter. Come with us on a tour of Israel or Petra, or a cruise to Greece and Ephesus. Please contact us for more information.
Dr. Jeffrey Seif is teaching today from the ancient fortress of Masada, which is one of the most famous places in Israel, and it's a place that our Zola tours go to every year in the fall and the spring. We'd love for you to go with us.
Yes, go to our website, levitt.com. You can find out all that information. Now let's go to Deanna in Israel for our Hebrew lesson.
Not yet. Let's hear from Deanna.
Okay.
Shalom Chamarim. Over here is the Oznei Chaman. It is a traditional cookie for Purim. It is also called the Chamantashen. It is made of butter, sugar, flour, baking powder, salt, lemon zest, and a little bit of jam in the middle. It is fashioned after the hat of Haman, the villain in the story of Esther. It is a delicious reminder of how God defeated Israel's enemies in a very difficult time in our history. So I highly recommend making these treats. They're very delicious.
Deanna, thank you for introducing us to these wonderful cookies.
Yes.
Can I pick one out yet?
It's really difficult to have these sitting right in front of us this whole time.
Favorite Hebrew lesson ever. These are Hamantashen.
Yes.
And some say they are Haman's ears, and some say that Haman's hat. But it doesn't matter because they look amazing. So
they smell amazing.
The black ones have poppy seeds,
yes.
right? And the brownish ones have nuts in them, nuts and apricots.
Yes.
Do you say apricot or apricot?
Apricot.
Apricot, I say apricot. Tomato, tomato. But nothing bad about these. Can I pick one out?
Not yet.
But I want that one.
Soon.
Hamantashen, the food of Purim. Now, let's go to Haman's demise.
אנא ממך, חוסי על חיי. לא! אני חף מפשע. אני לא עשיתי שום דבר, אסתר, אני... הוא מכפה את עצמו על אשתי בביתי שלי? אני לא עשיתי שום דבר, אסתר, אני מתחנן לפניי. לא! בבקשה, אסתר. לא! הגרדום שהוא הכין למרדכי ישרת אותו היטב. תלו אותו.
He's wining and dining with the great King Xerxes one moment. The next moment, he's crying and dying as he is taken away from the presence of the king, not long after to then be thrust into the presence of the King of Kings when he takes his last breath and wakes up and meets his Creator on the other side of the grave. And frankly, I would not want to be Haman. His life ended rather quickly. Behind me at Masada is a shrine to a life that ended very slowly. The Jewish nation state, in some sense, came to an end here. This is where the war against the Jews that Jesus talked about actually culminated in the early 70s AD at a place, Masada. Round about me are forts where Roman soldiers were garrisoned. And behind me on my left is a ramp that Jewish slaves were forced to build. A bucket load of dirt, rock, and sand at a time went into that in order to build a ramp that will breach the defenses high atop the fortress, Rock of Masada, and breach it they did. Flavius Josephus tells us of the way those who defended the fortress came to an end. There was valor, there was virtue, there was love of God, country, and family. No such impulses resonated within Haman, who principally was in love with himself. And we find in the biblical text that he, like so many others, took issue with one Jew, Mordecai, and with all Jews by extension. The man was just doggedly determined to see to it that they came to an end. But of course, as we know, it all turned on his head. We know the story. There was a banquet he was invited to. Little did he know that Esther was wise to him and had a plan to turn on his own head his own schemes. As the queen turned and said, "You are the man, Haman, the nemesis, the one who would be the undoing of myself and my people." He's going to grab her, squirming, pleading, begging, the coward that he was, only for Xerxes to see that and be all the more enraged against him. He has his head covered, Haman is taken away, and we're told in the book of Esther, chapter 7, verse 10, how it all came to an end. Vayitlu et Haman al ha'etz. And they hanged Haman on the tree. Eitz is tree, it means gallows, of course. He had planned to have Mordecai swinging on that gallows, but it didn't work out that way now, did it? We're told here, Vayitlu et Haman al ha'etz. So they hanged Haman on the gallows, Asher, which Hakin la Mordecai, which he had prepared for Mordecai. We find it time and time again in the biblical text where the wicked come to an end. They are judged. Sometimes when we're suffering, we feel it'll never come to an end. But God does bring resolution. And he brings judgment to bear against those that are his adversaries. It may well be that you have an adversary and a thorny problem, a situation that's bigger than you, and you can't control it. We do well to seek the Lord because he is able to control. The word omnipotent is used to describe God, all-powerful, and we see him at work here, a work that finishes with Haman swinging on the gallows.
Thank you, Dr. Seif. We are at the table today with our guest analyst, Ted Pierce. We are so glad you're with us again today and all of your wonderful input in this series.
Well, thank you very much.
Insight.
It's been a blast. We should do it again.
Knowledge.
Yes.
We're talking today about the judgment that comes upon those, the curse for curse. We talked about blessing for blessing, the curse for curse, the judgment that comes upon those who go against God's people. How have you seen that played out?
Well, I mean, this is really interesting when you think about it. Purim is really the church is separated from Israel by a calendar and a language, and we don't even know their calendar. But on that calendar, which you can read about, they get it from the Bible, there are certain feast days. But then there's the feasts of the Jews, which would be Purim and Hanukkah. Well, Purim is an interesting theme because it celebrates the Esther, really. And an interesting thing happens throughout history. The Gulf War, the first war with Saddam Hussein, ended on Purim. And it also ended with his sons being hung, just like Haman, who tried to kill the Jews. Saddam Hussein's sons were hung. But another really interesting thing is at the end of World War II, there was a man named Joseph Stryker was in charge of the final solution and wiping out all Jews. He was Hitler's guy for that. He was hung on Purim with 10, after the Nuremberg trials, there were 10 Nazis who were hung on poles, which is exactly what happened on Purim. Haman's 10 sons were hung. And again, this happened on Purim. So there are things that seem to happen on Purim that the world doesn't really see because we don't know the Jewish calendar, but the Jewish people see it, And so God has shown them several times on Purim that He's the one watching over them and He will destroy their enemies.
Have you been over there for a Purim celebration? I don't know if celebration is the word.
Oh, in Israel it is. Yeah. In Israel it's borderline debauchery in many places. It's a day of getting drunk, basically. Not necessarily in the religious community, but that's pretty much how secular Israel celebrates Purim. It's a day for celebrating. Let's party because tomorrow we die. Whatever.
It's celebrating, and it's also the theme of never again. Right? That's part of that God redeemed the people through Esther. But never again will this or let this happen. Of course, with the Holocaust, we see that happening again, but then God says, you only go so far. And there will be a curse to those who come against
Israel was born out of the Holocaust, and Israel is a nation of Holocaust survivors, so never again is pretty much a daily thing there. Yeah. But yeah, they'll state that publicly on Yom HaShoah, on Purim, on Tish B'Av. It's a very common theme, yeah.
And a very common thing, I know this is a strange transition, to cookies, but the thought of never again.
They tried to kill us, let's eat.
Right?
Let's eat, that's how it goes.
These are part of the feast.
Explain them.
Of Purim. Yeah. Hamantasha, remember we learned that word.
Really smells good.
And it comes from the word Haman. Oh, thank you.
I think I'll take one of those too.
It comes from Haman. I used to think it meant hats because this looks like George Washington's hat.
It does, the three-sided and three-pointed.
Yeah, but Ken Berg, the producer of this show, told me Tashin actually means ear, so it's Haman's ear.
Haman's ear. So we eat it, digest it.
Let's have some ear while we go to some music.
That's right. While we continue to eat these wonderful cookies, let's go to a song with Ted Pierce.
Oh, this was really good.
הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, ולא יישן, ולא יישן. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, שומע ישראל. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, ולא יישן, ולא יישן. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן. Shomer Yisrael, now in English. Behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps. He who keeps Yisrael, behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps. He who keeps Yisrael. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, ולא יישן ולא יישן. הנה לא ינום ולא יישן, שומר ישראל. Behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps, he who keeps Israel. Behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps, he who keeps Israel. We're going to dedicate this verse to the United Nations. I wouldn't poke my finger in the eye of God if I were you. 'Cause just remember, he's God and you're not, or I'll have some bad news for you. And I quote, Hine lo yanum velo yishan, velo yishan, velo yishan. Hine lo yanum velo yishan, shomer Yisrael. Behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps, he who keeps Israel. Behold, he neither slumbers nor sleeps, he who keeps Israel. He who keeps Israel.
Thank you, Ted, for that great, great song.
It would be a shame to have all these wonderful Hamantaschen and not share them with our crew.
Yeah.
You hardly get to see them. Here they are. Come on in. Grab a cookie. They're wonderful. They're delicious.
Yes.
We already had ours.
Yes. Belen. Sha'alu Shalom, Yerushalayim.
Pray for the peace of Jerusalem.
Our monthly newsletter, the Levitt Letter, is free and full of insightful articles and news commentary from a messianic perspective. Visit levitt.com to find our newsletter, along with current and past programs, our television schedule, and much more.
Don't forget to order this week's resource by calling 1-800-WONDERS, or you can purchase it from our store at levitt.com.
Your donations to Zola Levitt Ministries help these organizations bless Israel.
Thanks again for joining us this week. Zola Levitt Ministries and this television program depend on tax-deductible donations from viewers like you.
This has been a paid program brought to you by Zola Levitt Ministries.